Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back. As we have Maru here in the bottom left as our blue Terran player, fighting off the evil Zerg forces coming out of Domray Good today here. In the top right as our red Zerg player. Zerg versus Terran from the South Korean region, and I'm looking forward to it. So I haven't seen DRG play as of late. DRG is one of those players that has insane ups and, well, rather low lows as well, I would say. Of course, already did his military service, came back and made a decent impression. Not quite similar to his level of old, in which he was winning MLGs and destroying noobs left, right, and center. It's definitely a powerful player. Maru, of course, probably one of the best Terrans in the world, if not the best Terran in the world. Opening up with a CC first here. What do we know about DRG? Well, DRG speaks English quite well. That's nothing to do with his skill in game, but it's interesting to note. It's very solid at English. And he loves playing Muras. He's one of the only players, I've been told, that is capable of playing Lingbane Mura in the current meta game. Feels comfortable playing it in the current meta game. So something we need to try and keep in mind here. We do have the orbital command coming out as well. And this is a Marine first opener, which means the factory is going to be the second structure here. I think he messed up his wall ever so slightly. I think he wanted to full wall there with the factory, but kind of missed that one. As a result, now we're working with a, well, not a full wall yet. This could be painful if DRG had decided to build some links and send them across the map. But that's not the case at all here, as DRG decided to stay home with absolutely everything. And not build any links as well, so very solid eco here in the early game for our Zerg player from Busan. Start with a tumor down here as well, which will go up. First two cars should start relatively soon, as we also have a third CC on the way here practically immediately. Nice little build order here out of Maru. Greed. Yet. A lot of units as well. Like, these are some fast Hellions for a triple CC opener. That's the beauty of CC first, of course. Yes, you lose a little bit of scouting because, let's face it, Maru knows absolutely nothing's gonna open up with a second factory here. And a third factory. Now we're talking, baby. There we go. Oh yeah. This is what I live for, my friends. This is beautiful. This is StarCraft 2. I've seen him play this exact build order against Solar in a game, I want to say on Altitude a month and a half, 2 months ago. And it just goes straight into MECH. An absolutely fantastic build order. Fast pressure on the opponent. Oh, it's completely skipping those starport units. And Solar is not really going to catch this. He's not going to catch a whiff of this yet. There's going to be 2 Marines capable of denying scouting towards the main base. Double tech labs are definitely possible here on these factories. So it's going to be really fast cyclones. And probably with quick blue flame as well. So it's a really interesting start, right? Because if the Zerg opens up with Pure Ling Queen, and the Hellions do really well, especially against the Lynx, and the few Cyclones that will be out will do fantastically against the Queens. If you open with Roaches as well, like Cyclones are going to be quite good against it. It feels like your Queens, I mean, they're useful, they're good, but they're not quite as good as they would be against air units, right? Queens are fantastic against things like Banshees, Battle Cruisers. And here yet, they still have a purpose, but you also are going to need some real damage dealers, like the Roaches, in order to deal with an army like this. So I was very interested in how this is going to end up playing out. We already have our first 2 Cyclones out 5 minutes into the game. This is absolutely unheard of in this matchup, especially given the fact that there's also a third CC done already, producing SCVs in position. It seems like DRG is going for a 9 Roach rush, a 10 Roach rush. This could also be defensive Roaches, but it doesn't feel like it. These are aggressive Roaches. He's gonna make his way across the map with them most likely. And I am not so sure if this is something that you want here as the Zerg player. I am actually not sure if this is something that you want. Because you're going to move across the map. You're gonna be moving into a crap ton of Hellions, which of course have the ability to roll Zerglings at very high speed. And then behind that, there's going to be at least 4 Cyclones capable of locking onto individual roaches and dishing out a crap ton of damage. Ling run by is going to go around. So Ravage, this is serious pressure here, okay? This is more than just serious pressure. And I think this gets scouted as well here. That's a lot of Ravagers. Says Maru right now. Needs to be careful that he won't get surrounded here by these Lings. And kind of gets put into one position. Gets put into... Oh, what? The rocks? Did I really have the priority here? Not so sure. I think DRG should actually not commit. I don't think he can commit. We already have 1 tank on the way. We're up to 10 Hellions with Blue Flame. And we have those 4 Cyclones with the mech field accelerator. The massive damage on the Cyclones. The little double red lasers. Look at that. Going absolutely ham here. Oh, cars coming from the back are taking a losing battle against some of these Ravagers. As 2 depots get 1 shot here. I love how these cars are just stopping the reinforcements from ever arriving. Look at that. Pure Ling reinforcements. No chance against the Blue Flame, my friend. This is going to get cleaned up. This is already cleaned up. This is clean, my friend. Well, is it? Tank's going to siege up. Individual lock-ons here on those Ravagers. This is a fantastic engagement for Maru. It really is. Is going to lose a lot of workers to the Ling run by towards the 3rd base though. 20 SCVs going down in total. It seems like DRG is holding down that Ling Ravager button. Continues moving out. Hellions have disappeared largely. That means that these are the last of the standing units between the tank and the Ravagers. Will be capable of staying alive, but once more a couple of SCVs will end up falling basically for free here. I feel like Maru should have pulled those back in towards the natural, but he felt so comfortable in his defense that he probably thought it wouldn't matter. But it definitely did matter. Losing 30 workers here might actually have given DRG enough damage to justify the investment into the Ravagers, into the Lings. Now we have a lair about to finish up. We have these extracts. Look at this! 8 gases. I think this is going to be a pure Muta transition here. I actually truly believe this. Yeah, there we go. This is such an unlikely transition as well. I don't think Maru is going to see this coming at all. I mean, Maru is practically blind. He's not going to have any air harass unless he scans in his opponent's natural randomly. He's never going to figure out what's kicking off here. And if you don't figure out what's kicking off, you don't have any dedicated anti-air like Thors or turrets or even battle cruisers somewhere around. If you just have 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 Cyclones, life is going to suck the moment the Mutas fly in, alright? Cyclones are good against Mutas, but they need to be in position, and you need to be aware that they're coming. Otherwise, even a surround or an attack straight up on the Cyclones can be game-ending. I've seen this many times in the ZVT matchup. DRG managing also to drone up to 83 already. Playing a fantastic game. Now, I managed to make the read that it was going to be Mutas based on the gases on the 4th base. This is the one lifeline that Maru perhaps has here. He sees the gases mining here. It's like, hey, wait a second. That's kind of odd, isn't it? Yep, there we go. Throws down an eBay immediately. This was vital information that Maru just gathered. Like, extremely important. Makes the correct read, continues building mines, and should probably start blindly constructing a couple of turrets as well. If he does not have blind turrets in the main base, in the natural, he's still going to be in trouble most likely. We don't have a Thor out yet. We do have 6 more drones going down. Mutas are not going to be spotted by them as the eBay now finishes up. And indeed, first turret goes down. This was a key read here out of Maru. I cannot stress this enough. This one gas here, this is a game changer. The fact that he saw this, absolute game changer. Now goes for the scan into the natural, sees the Spire, and he'll know what's kicking off. Immediately adds more turrets in the main base. Will add a turret most likely in the natural as well. I can only imagine he will, or maybe he'll skip it as he's planning on taking a 4th. And you're trying to kind of cover this right side area anyway, so the natural should remain clean for now. This is an absolute metric crap ton of Mutas. 23 Mutas on the map already, as DRG had been investing all of his money purely in drones. Drones, Lings, and Mutalisk. That's going to be it. So a lot of gas was saved up. That is 1 mine that gets taken out, and that also is 0 Mutas that will end up falling. We have 24 Mutas plus 1 halfway done Baneling Nest on the way. Up to 10 gases goes DRG as he's setting up for a mass Ling Bane Muta game. I mentioned it before. He's one of the only players currently out of the pro Zergs, I've been told. Of course, I'm not perfectly aware of what everyone's playing. One of the only players that feels comfortable, that feels confident with this style. As he jumps on top of one of these turrets, is going to get it immediately. Takes out the mine as well and will snipe the refinery. It's not the end of the world to lose one refinery. Pneumatized carapace is done, as we see the Overseers at a very high speed zooming away. Oop, tank gets blasted here as well. Nice little attack. Did not achieve too much as the Mutas once again fly in. 26 Mutas trying to jump on top of these Cyclones will not quite what they want. I don't think so. Is this a good fight? Is this a bad fight? This looks like a bad fight to me. Turrets and Cyclones a little bit too much here for DRG, who ends up losing 26 Mutalisks in a matter of seconds. Is he dead right now? Surely losing 5,200 resources like that all at once. It has to have an impact. Yes, of course it has an impact, but he still has an okay Mutalisk count. He's up to 10 gases. He has map control and is going into upgrades here for Baneling. So it's not the end of the world. There's no 5th base done yet for Maru. Maru is still struggling on 4. Upgrades for Maru aren't, you know, it's not like 2-2 is done already at this point. He is starting the Thors right now, and this is when things start getting scary. Once the Terran player manages to set up defensively with Mine, Tank, Thor, a bunch of Cyclones in there, Mutaling Bane pretty much becomes, I don't want to say useless, because you can always try and find some damage somewhere. It becomes a lot worse, really a lot worse. We already have 2 more barracks on the way as well, which might be an indication of a Ghost Academy that could be thrown down soon. And once Ghosts are out, the time of the Muta is over. You know, this is not okay. This is a gun versus a sword. You know, it's not fair, especially if there's some range there between the two. Like the Ghost Snipe is so powerful against the Mutalisk. One-shotting Mutalisk. Every snipe, bam, bam. 200 resources. Clean out of the air. It's like going duck hunting. They don't fight back. Turret here is going to get one shot. Here comes the first attack with Banelings. 2 tanks in position. You can get some good hits on. Would have loved to see a Baneling flank coming in from the right. Did not happen. Actually, this is some good damage here. Thor in the main base is going to get magic boxed as well. And we'll get taken out here. 16 SCVs falling already. And Maru struggling to hit that max out. Maru struggling to hit that max out. And this is what's important for DRG right now. He does not want his opponent to set up. More Cyclones are going down, locking onto Lynx, locking onto Banelings, as even more SCVs are also falling. And I think DRG wants to really, you know, keep putting on pressure onto the same area, because it's just not very secure. There's no planetary here. There's not that many Hellions either. And I love how DRG is playing this. He's forcing these Cyclones away with the Lynx, saying, hey, if you want to fight against Lynx with your Cyclones, that's okay. With me, oh no! Almost forgets to kill the Thor there. And then while that's happening, the Mutas go for the real damage. You know, they're killing the workers, they're killing the Thors, they're killing the tanks. This wasn't the greatest execution of that exact plan, but he tried his best. Unlucky that the turret ended up finishing up before the Mutas could return to, you know, eat a couple of SCVs. If you take out another 8, 9, 10, 12 SCVs here, I think Maru's actually going to be struggling a whole lot to get up to 150 supply. Now we have 3-3 on the way. There's Roaches coming out. Look at this. This switch here. This absolute switch up. Oh, I like this a lot. The way that DRG is playing is a little bit reminiscent of how Rogue used to play. Just these constant switches, like massive compositional switches, forcing out Thors. And then, boom. You don't really get rid of the Mutas. You can still fly around with them, but you go into Roaches. And Thors are okay against Roaches, but ideally against Roaches you want tanks, of course. What don't you want tanks against? Against Mutas. So you switch between the two compositions at a very high pace, keeping your opponent's supply low, still harassing with those Mutas as well, pulling your opponent apart. And now we're most likely going to see another attack. There's a crap ton of Ravagers here, and there's really nothing defensively. DRG is playing a fantastic game of Lingbane Muta. I don't really see a way for Maru to easily hold on here. I actually don't see it. This base is still vulnerable as well against the Mutas. Mutas can even pop in towards a natural. Big engagement here at the third base, of course, as Thors are taking a little bit of a beating right now. Ravagers are going to get taken out. It's absolutely vital that with this type of an attack, SCVs go down. So we see DRG here jumping on this turret, is going to get it, and as a result will end up taking out 9 SCVs as well. And that is so vital. It's absolutely pivotal that that happens. Because if it doesn't, you're just trading out units, and most of the time as a Zerg you're going to be trading inefficiently. If your opponent can continue expanding, can continue keeping his SCV safe and mining a crap ton, eventually you'll just bleed out. You're not going to have enough cash to constantly do these remaxes. But because you take out these SCVs, they have to be rebuilt. The income takes a bit of a hit. All of that's pretty important. Hellions are going to get caught on the bottom side once again. Mutas popping in over here. There was no turret available, or it got taken out. I'm not entirely sure what happened here. 7 SCVs fall once more. Ghosts are now popping out, and 3-3 is about to finish as well. Hive is on the way here for DRG, who's still looking for an angle of engagement and should be capable of finding that pretty soon. Now starts heading towards this side, as the Cyclones are already in position to deal with this. This was a really solid defense, honestly. Tanks also in the correct position, so for once Maru actually gets the correct defensive setup. Still's going to lose this 5th base planetary, loses a bunch of these tanks as well, and DRG just moving forward, moving in here. Wants to get the connections with the Cyclones, won't quite get it. At the same time, Muta's now going in. Cyclones trying to defend, well, what used to be a 5th base. More SCVs going on. Man, freaking DRG is outplaying Maru. Just completely destroying him at 5 different sides. This guy's been playing such fast StarCraft 2 over here. It is difficult to make, honestly, Maru look worse. It's very rare to see. I mean, this hasn't just been like a massive early game advantage. Yes, there was an early game advantage, but after taking out 26 Mutas, I think Maru kind of was back in the game. Ever since then, DRG has been taking good trades. Oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is real bad. This is another 10, 11, 12 Mutas that just go down for free. Of course, this CC might be in a bit of, well, I guess it's not really in a whole lot of trouble, because there's nothing that can really shoot up. There's still 3 Mutas remaining. It's not going to be enough. Is perhaps a Greater Spire a possibility here as a late game switch? Is that something that you'd really want, or are Vipers the next step? It seems like DRG has his answer ready. It's going to be 1 Viper for now. Adrenal Glands +2 range. Love to see the +3 attack starting as well here for the melee units. And what's coming out next, right? Because right now, hold that thought, we have a big engagement here. Hellbats are falling already. Tanks also being taken out. Can the Banelings get the connections that they want? So far, not really. Ghosts stay alive. Tanks do fall. Tank count pretty much has been reset. 87 workers to 55. As SCV production starts up again. And the Mutas start hitting some depots in the main base. The funny thing here is that Maru doesn't even have the supply capacity to max out. He has only capacity for 163 supply, while DRG has been maxed out for what feels like the past 10 minutes. Now, what I was going to say is that it is obvious to everyone involved here now is that Mutas are not going to be a transition anymore. There's too many anti-Muta units. There's too many Ghosts. There's turrets ready, so 6 Ghosts. Yeah, it's unlikely that Mutas are still going to pop out. It's going to be pure Ravager Ling Bane at this point. That means that tanks are always going to be the correct choice. So army composition-wise, this is easier for Maru, as once again, I think he's making a hold. And this hold is actually really good. Very solid trade here. Look at this. 45k lost on the side of DRG against 29,000 lost for Maru. And I think this is the first time in the game where Maru feels comfortable enough to even start clearing a little bit of creep again. Yes, there are 7 bases for DRG. Yes, he has fantastic income, but he does need slightly better trades than the ones that he's getting right now. He's taking out another tank. There's still 4 remaining. Beautiful positioning as well defensively out of Maru. Just forming a line all the way to the back, making sure that the Vipers can only hit a single tank at a time with a Blinding Cloud, if they ever were to throw a Blinding Cloud. So far, we haven't seen this Viper really being used. It's just been idling here in the main base. I believe that DRG might have just forgotten about it. 4 Hellbats being produced at a time, of course. And don't forget that with the Hellbats, once +3 gets researched, that's a true game changer, because Hellbats then are capable of one-shotting Lings, which is a huge deal. Absolutely massive deal. Double Thors on the way here as well, moving forward towards this orbital command. Like this type of Ling run by, all of a sudden, it's just never worth it anymore the moment there's a single Hellbat in position. Like, you need Banelings in order for your mineral dump to be worth it, right? You need to get rid of those Hellbats first. So, flanking tanks with Lings is completely non-viable at this point. Look at these Helbets go. Like, yes, they end up dying against the Banes, but they do take out a bunch of links before they end up falling. There's still a couple of Helbets in the back as well. Ghosts are gonna get connected with at least a little bit here. 9 workers once again go down, and this poor eBay is also gonna get taken out here. A couple more snipes will connect with the 1-2 Banelings and I think a Ravager there. 3,500 minerals for DRG as he takes the first gold. I wouldn't mind if he took the second gold already as well, or if he had taken it. Feels like he had been in control for such a long time. If you just start mining these gold bases, they mine out really fast and they give such a massive mineral boost as well. Definitely would have been worth it. I mean, you need less workers to get higher income. That sounds like a dream trade-off to me. Banelings do connect with 2 workers here. Not entirely what you want with your Banelings, but seems to be fine. Infestors have been added into the comp as well. Let's take a look at their upgrades. There is Burrow, but there's no Neural Parasite. Of course, Fungal is going to be available. So these are just for Fungals on these Ghosts. And if you hit 1 Fungal on the Ghost, the game could end, because that means Baneling connections. And there is no way, Jose, that Maru gets 6, 7, 8 more Ghosts out right now. It's simply not possible for him. He doesn't have the gas for it. He doesn't have the money for it. 14 workers get taken out just once more. 5 base against 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 versus 5 right now. That is the overall situation that we have been in. 1 Fungal does connect, 1 Ghost goes down. These are good trades here for DRG, who continues throwing his army at his opponent. I feel like we've been at a constant onslaught of Zerg just throwing stuff at the Terran and hoping that it gets the kills. Now, this is going to be a forced liftoff here. DRG doesn't feel comfortable going in there. I'd love to see Neural Parasite being researched. I mean, there are a couple of Thors in this army comp as well. Against tanks, it's fantastic. If you can Neural a Ghost and an EMP yourself, I mean, that would definitely be helpful as well. So there's a couple of things here which could have helped. Yeah, but I don't quite see it happening yet. I don't see any Neural Parasite research quite here. This sounds stupid, but one of the things that I think Maru is really good at is making sure that there's... Oh my god. I was going to say that he never doubles tanks on the same spot, so that Ravagers can pilot twice. And as I say it, as I wanted to say it, he actually does the thing. But he quickly unsieges, I think, realizing. Same with the... Ooh, look at that. This is fantastic. This is actually very big, because there was not a single Helbet here. 10, 12 workers fall immediately. Now Helbets come in to save the day. This is why you always need a couple of Banelings in your composition to deal with this type of stuff. Maru feels like he needs to go for an all-out push here, and I'm not entirely sure if DRG can actually hold this. Now, Fungals are going to be available. Here comes a big Blinding Cloud. That's one. No! Blinding Cloud does not get cast here. EMP hits before that. Fungals trying to connect. Hit some of the Medivacs, but I actually think that Maru might be, well, winning this fight right now. 54 links are on the way here behind all of this. This base is going to be toast. Another Fungal is going to connect. Of course, easy. Oh, one more. There we go. Tank might actually end up dying to a Fungal. That's something you rarely ever see. Drones will get the evacuation, but 8 workers go down, and this is the first time in a very long time that Maru actually takes out a couple of workers. 148 SCVs have gone down, 69 Mutas have fallen, 650 links. It's been a massive game of just pure trading here for the past 10 minutes. Maru is running out of steam. He loses another 14 workers to what I assume to be this Ling run by. And that means he's even further, well, all in than he was already. He's flying away with these 4 Thors, the boys. The boys are back in town. Gonna need some repairing here, and there the SCVs come immediately indeed. Income-wise, it's looking solid for DRG. I still believe that Neural Parasite here would be an absolute game changer. Well, I'm not sure if it's still a game changer, but it would definitely have a major impact in the advantage of DRG. Of course, I think that DRG is winning, so I'm not sure if it would change the game. You know, yeah, there we go. He agrees with me. Neural Parasite here is so important in these low eco scenarios for a couple of reasons. One, there's very little units, so if you can take over 2 Thors in a 5 Thor army, that's huge. But also scans are limited because every single scan needs to go into a mule instead, because you need cash here. Tank is going to siege up. Snipes do go down. 77 army supply against 77. That is fairly close. That snipe does not go through. I think he ran out of vision range there. Oh my god, This link burrow is brilliant. I didn't even realize that. I've seen it before, but I didn't know what it was for. This is a spotting link. This is not to harass again. He just uses it to see if there's any units there. And then when he doesn't see any units there, he's like, well, why don't I just go in right now? That seems like a fair thing to do. I think that's an absolutely brilliant thing to do. Drones are going to be evacuated here from this base, as DRG still has a couple of mineral patches down here, but he's also really kind of low right now when it comes to... Oh, do we want to do this? I don't think so. He's kind of low when it comes to actual mineral patches to mine from. Neural Parasite is about to finish up, and now it could actually be a real game changer, because I think this game looks fairly poor here for DRG now all of a sudden. I mean, the income is so low for both players. 500 minerals here on the side of DRG against 200 for Maru, but Maru has managed to secure a left side base. Still has a couple of mule availabilities here. There's no cash. There's simply no cash here for DRG available. Look at these. Look at these lurking infestors here. Oh, EMP is going to connect. Not a single overseer with this army. That means that the only way to detect is to hit a fungal. Is he going to hit a fungal? The answer is yes. EMP is connecting as well, though, with all of these infestors. GG gets called. Maru, after world's most insane game, managed to win it. 73,000 resources lost on the side of DRG against 45,000, almost double. Absolutely mental. Look at this. Look at 199 banelings. And what did Maru? Maru also lost 172 SCVs killed. That is a crazy number. And yet he survives. He strikes back and wins the game. Crazy game. Absolutely crazy. Fantastic play out of our South Korean Terran player. That is going to be it for me, though, today, and also for you guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. Be sure to check out some of the other videos, either on this channel or my main channel, youtube.com/harstem, I guess. Is that how you get it? I don't know how channel names work. But yeah, check that out as well if you haven't yet. And I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Adios, my friends.